If you reopen the country in May and there's a new outbreak or a spike in infections, are you open to the idea of shutting the country down again?
Depending on the outbreak, yeah.
You would be open
Depending.
to
I mean, and that's happened, as you know, in a couple of countries. You know what I'm doing? I'm watching other countries. In many cases, they're ahead of us from the standpoint that it attacked them before us. It hit them first. And I'm watching what's happening with respect to certain other countries, some of them obvious, some of them less obvious, and what they're doing and the success that they're having. And that's going to play a large part of the role. We're also setting up a council of very, very great doctors and business people. We're going to be announcing it on Tuesday. Of some great people.
the economic task force.
There's a second task force?
This is beyond economic. This is really, I call it the Opening Our Country Task Force, or Opening Our Country Council, so we don't get it confused with Mike's task force, which has done so great. And we're going to have the great business leaders, great doctors. We're going to have a great group of people. We'll probably do it by teleconference because we don't really want them traveling in for their own purposes. I don't think it would look good also, but we don't want them traveling in. So we'll do teleconference. We did one the other day with the banks, and it was very successful, the teleconference itself. And we'll be announcing names on Tuesday, who's on that. And that'll play a role, but ultimately I have to make that decision. And then I'll have to make a decision. Do we close a little area that's a hot spot? I do say this, Jim, I want to get it open as soon as possible. This country was meant to be open and vibrant and great, not where people are, staying in.
Are you determined to do
I'm
May
not.
1st?
I would love to open it. I'm not determined anything. The facts are going to determine what I do. But we do want to get the country open. So important. So I'll have a task force. I'll have a council. It's going to be announced on Tuesday with names that you have a lot of respect for, a lot of great names, different businesses, different people.
Bipartisan?
Bipartisan. I didn't even ask. I mean, honestly, I think it's bipartisan. The one thing I didn't ask, are you Republican or a Democrat? Hard to believe, but I didn't ask. So it would be. And I want their views on what they think. Also, very important, different parts of the country. Because you go to the Midwest, it's different than perhaps the East Coast or the West Coast. Now, the West Coast, those numbers are really pretty amazing on the West Coast. Very interesting. So we're going to be announcing that in a very short while, probably Tuesday.